This video is all about macros and micros. I'm sure you have heard the fitness industry talk about macros and micros and thinking that you're supposed to know what they are. So this video is all about describing what macronutrients are and what micronutrients are, why they're important, and roughly how much of your calories or your nutrition needs to be in whichever food group. So first things first, I've done a nice pie chart. Hopefully it's fairly circular on the video, fingers crossed. So the biggest area is protein for me. Why I say 40% protein is because it will make you feel fuller for longer. We've also got some really important things that proteins do, and that is to repair muscle tissue, for function, structure, and regulation of organs and tissue. And proteins are so important. You can have too much protein. So I would say just stick to trying to get around 40% of your daily intake as proteins. And that's just trying to be aware of that when you're eating lunch and dinner. Are your plate balanced? What sort of things are you having on your plate? Then we move around to fats. So fats are super important, and you'll be looking at around 30% of your intake to be from fats, but you will have fats from other foods. So don't feel that you've got to eat fat with every single meal, because some things like meats will just naturally have animal fats, and some products will, or items of food will be fats or fatty. So when you're entering them in on MyFitnessPal or you're looking at them, just make sure that you're aware of that, yeah? So fat is super important because it provides energy, it keeps our body temperature regulated, and it also absorbs nutrients as well. And then we've got carbohydrates, which are otherwise known as carbs, and we're looking to have about 30% of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are the predominant source of energy. So when you're training, you need to make sure that you are replenishing those glycogen stores after training as well. So be aware of that when you're coming into the sessions. But they're super important because they transport hormones and improve functionality of cells, amongst other things. So we want to be making sure that we are having a balance with every single meal that we are eating. And if you've done any really strict diets, what you may have found is that they focus on one specific macronutrient, or they cut out one specific macronutrient. In my opinion, it's super important to get a balanced diet, and all these things are super important to your bodily function. And I kind of talk about it like a car, right? So you've got oil, you've got fuel, and you've got water that you've got to put in your car, and then it functions really well. If you're missing or you're low on one of those items, then your car is not going to be as efficient. And use that analogy when you're thinking about yourself and your body. Your body needs that balance throughout the day and throughout its nutrition. And the final thing is micronutrients. So micronutrients are found within things like vegetables, fruits, that type of thing. And they're really important for growth, immune function, brain development, and so much more. Things like the health of your nails, your skin, your hair, all these different types of things. And you will find micronutrients in a variety of different foods, but the main source will be coming from vegetables. And if you are in doubt at any time, just load up the vegetables on that plate, because you know that you will be getting a lot of nutrients from those vegetables. So guys, if you've got any questions, then let me know. But have a look on your MyFitnessPal as well, if that's where you're choosing to track, and try to ensure that you change your macronutrients ratios, because usually what happens is they are different to this here. So what you need to do is go into MyFitnessPal, click on your goals, and then you go to macronutrient goals, and then on there you will be able to adjust the percentages to 40% protein, 30% fat, 30% carbs, and it will automatically come up with grams if you prefer to do it that way. And then you can look at the grams for proteins, carbs, and fats, or you can just look at a pie chart similar to this, which it will give you on MyFitnessPal, with a breakdown of roughly what percent is protein, fats, and carbs from the foods that you have eaten throughout that day. So if you're unsure, speak to another member that comes down to the gym and trains with us. Speak to myself, comment on the Facebook community, you know, ask questions if you're unsure, because we're more than happy to help you. See you on the next video, and have a great day.